All right. My name's Parker Carroll, and I'll just dive right into it. The core competencies that I'm doing today are the second, the third, the sixth, and the seventh. So I'll just go through each competency and kind of go through the key points, and then I'll just move on to the next one, make it a little bit more organized. So, with that being said, for the first one that I chose, core competency number 2, self-awareness and professional conduct. In my own words, I would basically say that this is just being self-aware. It's being able to know your own kind of boundaries and limitations, as well as your group and participants as well. It's also understanding that how our opinions and our experience kind of influence others, so on and so forth. So it's important to outdoor leadership because, if you're the one placed in charge, being able to act mindfully and knowing your limitations and abilities and basically how you influence and how you behave can affect the group. I think that's very important because, especially if it's newer people to the outdoor rec field, they learn from you, and you're setting the example. So moving on to the third core competency, my second one that I'm choosing, decision making and judgment. In my own words, I think this one's really important, but it's basically, kind of exactly what it is. It's being able to make those important decisions when they count, and using prior experience and things that you learned in your life to make certain judgment calls. So, it needs to be a conscious process, you basically need to be able to take in all different factors in order to make that call, right? So if you have different resources available, whatever it may be, these are all factors that play into you making that call and why you did it. It's just having good decision making and judgment and a good process behind that. So, I think that's important in the outdoor field as well. Very important, especially somebody in a leadership position. The decisions and judgment that you make at the end of the day could ultimately be life or death. It's that serious. And so I think that being able to use kind of prior experience that you have and kind of shape your judgment and your decision making is very important, I think. Yeah. So for the safety of the group, yourself, everything else, decisions can change everything. So with that being said, and I forgot to do this, but with my first one, but giving an honest self-aware assessment, basically, of my own abilities and limitation in this competency. I think that, honestly, I would like to think that I could use the available resources that I've chosen and be able to have that good thought process, but I think a lot of the time, I see things and I act on it, and although I might in the moment think that that's a good kind of way to go, I don't always think things all the way through and take in the available resources and really think things out all the way. I just make a call and I go with it and I stick with it. So so basically a way to improve that going forward, I think just being able to slow down and take everything in and kind of focus on what's right in front of you and don't rush everything right away. You don't need to do that. So, and going back to the first core competency that I did as well, which was core competency number 2, I think the same thing with that, having self-awareness and professional conduct, something that where I'm at with that, I think I'm pretty good with that, honestly. I think as far as my self-awareness goes, I'm able to recognize what I struggle in and what I don't, what I need help in, so on and so forth. And as far as professional conduct goes, I honestly think I'm pretty good with that too. I understand that there's a job that needs to be done and you do it, in a professional manner. And I credit a lot of that to the training that I've gotten in the military. There's a time and place for everything, including screwing around. So just knowing that, cool. Okay. So going on to my third core competency, I chose program management. In my own words, I think this basically is just kind of the broader spectrum of having good planning skills, having good organization skills, management skills. It all kind of blends in together. And being able to kind of go into like the logistics side if you're planning trips or planning, things like that. It's kind of the finer details that sometimes get overlooked, right? Because you want to go out and have fun and you want to do this and that, but nobody thinks about or wants to think about the logistics involved in that. So obviously that's important to outdoor leadership because, if you want to go on these big, great trips and make lots of great memories and have a good time, there's a lot of planning that goes into it. It takes an immense amount of organizational skills and also management skills as well. You need to be able to determine what you have, what you need, and what going forward, what you might need, and being able to kind of dish that out in a way where it makes sense. So in an honest self-assessment, basically, of myself within this core competency, I don't think I'm very good at it. I am good at organizational skills, and again, I think I credit that to the military as well. Same thing with planning and stuff, but I don't, that's not my specialty. It's not what I like. So going forward, I think that it would be important for me to kind of get into that and see how it operates a little bit more and see how the finer details go in and kind of educate myself on that. So moving on to my last core competency that I chose was safety and risk management. And I think that's exactly what it is. It's the safety and risk management. What are you going to do and what are the risks involved and how can we manage that and mitigate that so it's not as dangerous as it needs to be. Looking at all the, the participant safety, the legal aspects, things of that nature. That's important to outdoor leadership because, at the end of the day, if you're taking a group out, people can be liable. You can be liable to the law, all types of different crazy stuff. You can get in trouble. Not good. So you need to be able to protect yourself as well as protect the people in your group as well that you're taking out. Or if you're even a part of the group, you need to know kind of, all the legal aspects of it and being able to keep everyone safe because at the end of the day, that's the most important. So those are my 4 core competencies. Going off of them, I think all of them combined, as far as career goals, summer jobs, a leadership position, things like that, I think it goes into, anything in the outdoor rec, right? I was a beach lifeguard, so I'll use an example of something I already have done. I did that for 4 years. Every single one of those core competencies I had to do within my job, right? Self-awareness and professional conduct. I need to be self-aware on what's going on within myself. If I come in, I'm gonna have a crap day, that means people could get in trouble. Having professional conduct as well, you might be joking. Having professional conduct as well, it's all about how you, conduct yourself. Sorry, that was my dog. I got a puppy. He's young, so he's good. Decision making and judgment. I would have to make decisions and make judgment calls. Does this person look like they're drowning? Am I going to go out? Should I wait? Is this going to be a false alarm? Things of that nature. Program management. Again, I had to have organizational skills. I needed to make sure I had all the tools on me that I needed to help somebody if that were the case. I needed to be able to manage things as well within that. I needed to be able to delegate people to different areas, or if there were fights amongst, beach patrons, whatever it may be, and safety and risk management. And I think that's, I need to be able to make sure the participants are safe. I need to better prepare myself and make sure that I'm planning accordingly so everything will go well. And also, again, with the legal aspects on that, although I myself might not be liable if someone drowns, if I fall asleep on stand or something, then I will be liable. So it's just about understanding these core competencies and how it kind of plays into your job and your life. And even, and that's something I've already done. That'll be in any career I choose. It doesn't matter if it's outdoor or not. These are things that, very basic that you need to be able to do. So that's it for my presentation. I'm sorry that went a little bit longer, but I think that's about it. And I'm going to be sending some paintings in. I sometimes paint when I'm stressed out of the kind of outdoor field, and it ties back into the presentation as well. So, thank you.